Alright, I've just finished editing my new video. Let me just create the thumbnail for it before I publish it. Let me just get this out. Okay, should delete this. Okay. Yeah, that'll do. Magnificent. So, I'm making my first game, and today I'm going to try my hand at making procedural generation for the first time. But I have no idea how to do this. So after all reliable YouTube tutorials, after hours of research, I've come across two ways to create procedural generation. One uses the random walk algorithm. That didn't quite fit the gameplay loop I wanted to implement, being similar to Hades, so I went for the second type of procedural generation, which just spawns a bunch of rooms. That's the dumbed down version, but that's pretty much what it does. What I started off doing was making all of the rooms that I wanted to be spawned, with one of them being the starting room. Please be ready for the artistic magnifique you're about to witness. Mozart-esque, some may say. Then I got onto creating the actual procedural generation. How it works is each room has spawn points, and these spawn points are where other rooms can spawn. And each spawn point has a number that dictates what type of room can spawn there. Now you may be asking, what are the type of rooms? Well, if you think about it, if there is a room that only has doors at the top and the bottom of the room, it cannot be connected to a room that only has doors on the left and the right. So it's like a puzzle. You have to have the right rooms with the right doors in the right place. So each spawn is given a number 1 through 4. And then I created an array that held all of the rooms for all the rooms that can be spawned off the left, and another one for all the rooms that can be spawned off the right, etc, etc. Then I use a random number generator bounded from 0 to the size of the array, and that would be the index of the room to be instantiated. And this would consequently create more spawn points, and that would do the same thing until a room was made that has no spawn points, in which case the loop would end and the map would be completed. So I've covered the part that spawns the rooms, and I followed the tutorial. So as long as I'm not an idiot and can follow simple instructions, then this should work, surely, and of course it doesn't. So I proceeded to go over the tutorial again and again for hours to see what I did wrong, checking every little detail, making sure everything is perfect, every little line of code, everything down to the name of the variables, and it still didn't work.
What the fuck are you looking for? There's no pot of gold down there. Are you adjusting the seat, really? That's been your fucking problem the whole time, the seat height. So now you have it, right? Go.
At this point, you'd think a normal person would just check the comments, see if anyone else was having the same problem. Nope, not me. Like the idiot I am, I go over the video for another hour, maybe even 2, I don't remember at this point. Then I get the bright idea to check the comments, and would you have a look at that? Quite literally everyone, including the creator of the video himself, is having the same problem, calling me shocked. The problem was, if there were 2 spawn points in the same place, it would spawn 2 rooms. So even if there was a room already in the place, so let's say the entry room, and there was another spawn point in the entry room, it would create another room in that exact same place. If you understand what I'm trying to say. This is a bit of a shit explanation, but it's the only way I can explain it. So, after fixing that by creating a collision object in the middle of each of the rooms, that would make it so a room cannot be placed on top of that room, otherwise it would be destroyed, there was another problem, where if there were 2 doors from different rooms that led to the same area, it just wouldn't spawn a room, because they would be destroying each other, pretty much. So we compiled this by just putting a massive block there, which I know isn't the most extravagant solution or the most revolutionary solution, but it does the job at the end of the day. The last part of the tutorial was to make a boss room, where the very last room that was spawned, and by extension the room furthest away from the player, will spawn a boss, which I just set to be one of the regular enemies I've already made. But with that, I've completed the tutorial. The tutorial was by Blackthorn Plug, by the way, who you should check out since his tutorials are really helpful. But I wasn't done. I wanted to make doors that would turn on when you enter a room, and also enemies that will spawn in each room, and a random enemy at that. I first worked on adding enemies to rooms by following concepts that I found in the tutorial, like adding points where the enemies can spawn, like the rooms, but instead of making it guaranteed to spawn there, I gave it a 50% chance of spawning. But I didn't want there to be rooms where there would be 0 enemies spawn at all. So I made it, if one spawn doesn't spawn an enemy, the other one was guaranteed to. For the doors, I just made the whole room a game object, so that when the player touches it, that activates the doors, and I also made it so when E is pressed next to the door, it deactivates the door. But in the future, I'll change it so it can only do it when all the enemies have been defeated.
Hey, why don't you just do that now?
Ah, you know what it is? I just had to walk my fish, so I didn't really have time.
It just sounds like you're being lazy to me.
What? Me? Nah, never.